Shalom, 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 shalom. How you doing? Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Again, Nubian King here, Israel, and we're still going. Friday morning over here, on the way up to Tel Aviv, get in the crane, move some building materials around, make them happy, and go back home. Short day today. On Friday, we only worked till 12, and it's over with. Yesterday, holiday, bringing in the Shavuot Feast of Tabernacles. So I got a good rest in. I had a very relaxing day studying on the computer and listening to a lot of different reports about the elections taking place in America between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I've been listening to a lot of information about that election, and my mind is set who I'm voting for. Nothing can change it. And at the same time, I've listened to a lot of stories about Kamala Harris' background, the historical records of how she's been doing her business, starting from California, the adulterous relationship with the Willie Brown, who was married, and Kamala was his little Indian mistress. All of that history. And the different individual who has been reporting and have been reporting and are reporting about the many different facets concerning Kamala Harris, the changes. She ran for president back in 2019 and was the very first one to drop out because she was doing so bad. And now today, she's neck and neck with Donald Trump. And it's so many different controversial things that have come out concerning Harris and her background, her activities, her history, and things that she's done. If 50%, if half of what the things they've said about her and what she's done were a lie, the remaining 50% is enough to turn away and walk away from her. Because it's terrible. All the way around the board. When she disrespected Janet Jackson, right, and said something stupid about Janet Jackson, that pissed a lot of people off, including me, because I am a Jackson fan. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll never forget, I was 5 years old at the segregated, racist, black people in the balcony, white people on the floor, old Atlanta City Auditorium. And if you ain't my age, originally from Atlanta, you don't know about this particular venue that they used to have shows in. Well, back in those days, it was the biggest arena to have shows, bands, performances, different type, activities. And then black people could only sit way up top in the balcony while the white people sat down on the floor. Nevertheless, they had a talent show this particular afternoon, and my mother took me. All black artists, singers, dancers, band, you name it. I had never heard anything about Michael Jackson. Didn't know nothing. I mean, I'm 5 years old, so what do I know? And I'm up there with my mother. I remember walking up the ramp. It wasn't steps. You just back and forth, like we going up to heaven. It's so high. And like, man, you know. And we finally got there, sat down, and, you know, as the show going on, the people doing what they're doing on stage performing, I'm a little bitty 5-year-old son. I'm just playing and standing up next to my mother and, you know, not really paying attention. So every now and then I glance down at the stage and see the band and the people, you know, 5-year-old, not really paying attention. Then I looked down, it got quiet, and the MC started speaking, and this sister comes out, this woman. She walks out of the side, and she's got in her right hand the hand of a little boy, and she walking this boy out on stage, all these other people on stage, and I stopped. That's what caught my attention. Like, what that boy doing up there, mama? She said he getting ready, he gonna sing. I'm like, what? And so the boy started singing, A, B, C, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. That was Michael Jackson. And I froze looking at that little boy on the stage singing. And from that day to this day, I have been a Michael Jackson fan. Yes, sirree, Bob. And so now you know you're a Michael Jackson fan, you're a Janet Jackson fan, you're a Tito, Randy, Marlon, Jermaine, you know what I'm saying? You're a Jackson fan, because we grew up dancing and listening to the Jackson 5. They was our people. And this dingbat Kamala Harris, who is not a FBA, what they call fundamental black American woman. No way, no shape, Jose. And the dumb stuff this woman have said, especially watching them greens and the collard green, you know what? You get a real organic, strong nigga, please. You understand? Watching no daggone food in the nasty bathtub with that long hair you got and the ring around the bathtub, people behind is in there, and you gonna put, look, that ain't why I want to talk to y'all. We already know that. But anyway, what I've been listening to lately is Candace Owens. You see, when Kamala talked smack about Janet Jackson, she brought the wrath of a lot of black people on her head. She turned a lot of black people off. You don't mess with Janet. You don't mess with the Jackson. Them our family. You know, we grew up. Them our babies. Them our children. They entertain us. And guess who been on her behind? All up in it, through it, around it. Candace Owens. And she has been doing research on her genealogy, because this whole thing about her, she black, she ain't black, she is Indian. So Candace started doing some research on her family roots, and wow, has she been bringing up the receipts, and it is absolutely terrible. You know, Kamala Harris got a book out. It's called The Truth We Hold. The Truth We Hold. Like, as if to say, after you read the book and you see all the lies that she's told in the book, the title makes sense. The Truth We Hold. It's like, I'm holding the truth, and I'm going to tell y'all lies. This thing about Kamala talking about the picture, here she's standing here with her black grandmother Beryl in Jamaica. She's trying to be black, right? Man, Candace Owens blew that all out the water. Come to find out, the woman that she's standing with is absolutely not Grandma Beryl. It's not her grandmother. Even the woman that they claim she's sitting on her lap, that's not her grandmother. not kin to her. Now, if you have the book, or if you've seen the pictures that Candace Owens has shown, the babies that's supposed to be sitting on that woman's lap, it don't even look like she's actually sitting on the sister's lap. If you really stop, stare, and analyze at the picture, and you know how children sit on laps and the look, and if that's your grandmother and you're a little baby, you're going to have your hand around the child's waist to keep the child from falling off, right? No, that little girl looked like a Photoshop. Somebody just put her there and say, look, I'm sitting on the lap of my grandmother's barrel. That's a damnable lie. Then, the way Candace broke it down is she went into the history and come to find out these jokers are they are Italians. No, Irish, excuse me, Irish. They are Irish descent, right? And her father, he don't claim nothing black. He Irish, Jamaican. Well, nevertheless, here you got Kamala supposed to be on this picture with this black woman she claiming is her mother, because she cosplaying trying to be black to sucker black people in to vote for her crazy behind. And none of those pictures are the woman that she claimed it is. Because why? Candace Owens herself went through the birth certificate, death certificate. She found marriage licenses. Candace Owens got a lot of receipts on her Candace Owens got a lot of receipts on her own to prove that woman, no way could she be who Kamala Harris claims she is. Okay. Now still, really, all right, even with all the receipts and the certificates and birth records and death records and marriage license, Candace was able to say that with a real extremely high level of probability that wasn't her grandmother. And then she tied it into the understanding that because they owned 1,000 slaves in Jamaica, and Kamala Harris comes from a slave family, that woman in that picture looked very well like she could have been the help. And that's what Candace said, right? Now, roll the clock forward. I'm getting ready to come to work this morning. I'm listening to Candace Owens, and she had a video of some white woman with 2 dogs sitting there on her lap speaking to a black sister from Jamaica that, guess what, lived and grew up with Miss Barrow, that knew Miss Barrow, all the details about Miss Barrow. And when the white woman showed her the picture that Kamala Harris claimed this is her grandmother Barrow, that sister said, nope, that ain't Miss Barrow. No, absolutely not. And then, so how do you know? Well, first of all, Miss Barrow is a fair-skinned, light-skinned, very well-looking. No, the sister said, nope, that is not Miss Barrow. So the woman showed her another picture. Nope, that ain't Miss Barrow. First of all, they too dark, because Miss Barrow is a very fair-skinned, light-skinned, almost white woman. And she owned the stores, the house, and, her son. Okay, now, okay. So the sister, absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt, verified that Kamala Harris lied about standing with her grandmother in Jamaica. That sister said that is not no Miss Barrow. That Kamala Harris is lying, talking about that's Miss Barrow. It ain't. All right. That sister said she grew up and she used to go to Miss Barrow, and she talked about this particular food that they had, some kind of sweet stuff, brown bark or whatever. And also, Mr. Harris, the father, talked about that food. So this sister, right now, Candace had said on an earlier video that she had some information, a big surprise for everybody that she said, I'm not ready to speak about right now. But guess what? The sister that was telling that white woman that wasn't Miss Beryl went on to speak about Miss Beryl and the other members of the family, and she brought up the name of this one particular family member. I think his name was Victor, Steve, right? Kenneth. And Candace, it just blew her away, right? Because that was the guy that Candace was going to tell us about to verify, further vindicate the lie that Kamala Harris is feeding everybody in her book. This sister brought the brother name up because she knew all the people when they was growing up in Jamaica. And Kamala Harris wasn't that person. And so when the sister mentioned the brother's name, Candace's face lit up like, whoa! And that's where Candace stopped the video and explained to us that was the secret surprise that I was going to mention to everybody about the brother. But she said, I know now beyond a shadow of a doubt, this sister is authentic, the real deal. Because she talked about that sweet pastry that food they used to eat as children. And she mentioned the brother that no one knew about. And Candace said the only way you can know that man is you authentically, absolutely had to be there and know these people. That's how she did that. That's exactly how she did that. That's how she did that. Yeah, man. So you know, Kamala Harris, she's a piece of work. She is a piece of work. And if you sit up there and watch the interview she did here the other day on the Fox, and the guy, he did real good. He wouldn't let her just, you know, them long bull crap word salad, not answering the question. And she's an arrogant woman. She's very arrogant. You know, I don't know if you all know that while she's standing up talking about $750 loan to the victims of the storm, what? You didn't know the $750 is not a grant? It's a loan? You haven't seen the videos of several people talking about they was denied the $750? Why? Because at the bottom the small writing says it's a loan. And those people was getting denied because their credit wasn't good enough to get a loan. See, that's the Kamala Harris. Yeah, whoo. Man, please. Anyway, you know, wow, it's incredible. And they are getting ready to steal that election. They're getting ready to do a doozy. You know why? Because they've done something that, if I'm not mistaken, has never been done in the United States of America. They have now authorized the U.S. military to attack and fight and kill American citizens on American soil in continental United States. This is the Harris, you know what I'm saying, administration. This is her. This is an evil heifer, man. I mean, you know, for you all that's out there that support that woman and gonna vote for her because she's black, just because she's black, y'all would be real good slaves. I'm telling you, because you just stupid. Yes, they've already done it. They done changed the rule, the law. You know what I'm saying? It was a rule about that. I forgot that the U.S. military can't be, you know, activated and operating on U.S. soil. That's over with. They've already got the military positioned to go after those people that's going to raise up when she steal, finagle, bamboozle, trickery this election. Absolutely. And you know, you cannot let an individual like her at the controls, because that evil, demented power thirst has drove them and her and others like her into a state of absolutely psychotic madness, to where once they get that power and control, it's like a drug addict. You just got to have more and more and more. Okay, so with the military being activated already, you see, while she out there being stupid, saying dumb stuff, and everybody watching her, she activating laws and doing things to come down hard on the American people. Now, why would they say, after all these years, something they've never allowed? Why would they allow the U.S. military to be able to do something they've never been able to do in over 200 years? That's make war with the American people, because they are expecting the American people to go to war against the U.S. government when Kamala Harris, the numbers say she done won. They did it one time. Okay, it worked. So they are planning to do it again. For what? Think about that. Why would they activate the U.S. government to be able to fire on U.S. citizens? Why? Because they know they are going to do some skullduggery to get that woman in this office. Yes, they're going to do it. And they are ready for the Americans to raise up against it. This is why they've already positioned the military. See, that's one thing that make them bandits so incredibly bold and bodacious and evil and corrupt, is because they control the police, the National Guards, the military, right? And because they control those fighting forces, they're like in our faces, what you gonna do? I sick the police on you, you know. And it's man, you know, it's more people, you know, got to die. The bad guys got to die too now, you know. And those people that's doing all these damnable things, innocent people working, trying to just live their life, you know. And they got video of this woman talking about taxing, you know, tips and everything, and she flip-flopping. Now all of a sudden, no taxes on tip. Trump been saying that for a long time, you know. I believe, I'm expecting, you know, what I see happening is that they're going to somehow, way, shape, form, or fashion do something really, really dirty to get her in office. And when that happened, I foresee the American people going to war with the U.S. government. Because at that point, the American people would feel hopeless. And if you put a person in a state where they're back up against the wall, they got nothing, and they have a spirit of hopelessness on them and despair, you have a person that's very unpredictable, that in their sheer anger, their strength increases tenfold. You understand? And so the poll numbers, don't be fooled. Poll numbers, man, they could finagle those numbers to say whatever they want. It don't mean daily squat. I could do a piece, you know, I could get a piece of paper and a pen and write down Trump 90% over here, Kamala Harris 10% over there, and take a picture and put it up on YouTube and say, the polls of the Middle East Consortium states that Donald Trump is 90%, and you don't have a clue of what no Middle East Consortium poll is. That's how easy it is to finagle polls and lie. And the reason why they do that is human beings are pretty much predictable a large percent of the time. You can basically predict what humans gonna do. And one thing, humans, they good with following the crowd. Follow the crowd. Follow the leader, you know. When I was coming along, my mother would tell me, you come home in front of the crowd or after. But don't walk around. You know, all those children, when they walking home, back in the day, we didn't have parents picking us up in cars, taking us to school, and all that kind of stuff. We walked. It wasn't that far, but we walked. And those walks was a lot of fun because you be out there with your friends, but at the same time, okay, them friends can be some knucklehead. They do dumb stuff trying to show out, right? So my mother used to tell me, you come home before the crowd. Don't walk home with all the other children because they be up to mischief. Don't follow the crowd is what she was telling me. Well, you come here now and you look at a population of people and human beings, and you got all these psychologists and psychiatrists and all these sociologists that they have this understanding that people tend to follow the crowd. You know, that's just like a famous restaurant. Everybody want to go to the famous restaurant. So these people they build off that same human idea of saying, if everybody's supporting Kamala Harris, I better jump in because I don't want to be left out. So how do they get people to think everybody is supporting Kamala Harris? By lying on the polls, telling people that Kamala Harris is leading Donald Trump by 3 points. Don't have to be a whole lot, as long as it says she leading Trump. You see what I'm saying? And you just this poll and that poll and the other poll and these polls and all polls say Kamala Harris is poised to take the White House and beat Trump. And then that ain't nowhere near true. Ain't nowhere near true. Because you supposed to already know they will lie. They will lie through their teeth, eyes, ears, nose, and butthole. They will lie. You're talking about the presidency of the United States of America. And what do the wisdom tell you? The ends justify the means, right? The end. That means like the end result of activities. That's what you're trying to achieve. What's the end result? What's the goal? What's the end goal? The goal is to become the president of the White House, right? So when it's applied, the ends justify the means. That's saying that whatever means, whatever things, whatever you do to get in that White House, being in the White House justify the corrupt way that you got in there. Whatever means you go about to get in that White House, it's okay. Lie, cheat, steal, whatever. As long as you get in the White House. And so that's how critical we have to understand this piece dealing with this woman, because the ends justify the means. She pushing to be the president. She's a power-hungry despot maniac that I could tell it in her eyes. She's super arrogant. And I remember seeing that video they showed with her talking about, you know, I have a lot of power in the pen. And when she said that, she just like was gloating. Ooh, I have a lot of power in my pen. And I just write something, you know. Just, whoa. See, you have to watch that body language, man. And look at them eyes and see the expression, the tonations of how she's saying things. You gotta sit there and pay attention. And while she's sitting there talking about this $750 peanuts to these people that houses done got wiped away and everything they own and all their possessions is gone, this ding dong gonna jump up talking about, and we're going to assist people $750 to get everything they need. And then they turn around and give billions to Ukraine and you better not ask them what did they do with the money. You see what I'm saying? This is kind of psychos that is there. You know, and people talk about Trump saying he gonna grab somebody by the, you know what? I'd rather have a dude that say he gonna grab a woman by the P than to be a P up in the White House. Don't be no P up in the White House. That ain't the place to be no P. You gotta be a man up in there. You follow what I'm saying? And so, yeah, old girl Kamala, that's it, man. You know, that is her. That woman is deep. Sitting up there telling people $750 why she wearing. Did you see the necklace? Y'all don't know about that necklace? That necklace cost her $62,000 around her neck. And she giving out $750 to some people that lost their whole house. And she talking ish. You see that? Woo-wee. Anyway, here we are. Back again with Tyler. Over here. Have a good day. Yeah. That necklace cost $62,000. Right? She got that necklace. I know it when I recognize it because one of the reporters spoke about it. They zoomed in on it, and then they compared it and looked at it and said, wow. And then, you know, I mean, this daggone internet, I love it. I love it because the internet don't let you get away with nothing. They looked at that necklace, man, and said, can you imagine that? This woman is sitting there talking this crap to people wearing a $62,000 necklace. My God. Woof. And woo. People saying they voting for her. Black folks. Yep, I saw several videos of black females saying they voting for her because she black. And they was asked on the shows, okay, she black. Is there any other reason that you are considering that you want to vote for her for? They're like, no. So you gonna vote for her just because she's black? Yeah, just because she's black. She's a sister like me. You know, the reason why I'm over here in Israel and I'm speaking to you all about Kamala Harris is because I genuinely just don't like ugly. You know how your grandmother used to say, son, God don't like ugly. You know, I just don't like ugly. You know, liars and cheaters and thieves. I just don't like ugly acting people. Just like my grandma, Mama Johnson. She said, hey, son, she said, God don't like ugly. You know? And I don't, because me being a Leo, July 24th is my birthday. I have real sensitivity. Now I'm opening up and telling y'all something about me if you don't know. I'm very sensitive to to women and children being victimized by men or even other mean ass women. You know, women and children are to be protected, okay, and looked out for. And so when I see women and children being victimized by mean people, it ticks me off considerably. You know? And so I see Kamala Harris as one of those mean, people that's victimizing and doing evil things to people. You know that piece about that the sister. See, this is not no story. This is the truth. None of these is a lie. All this information we're talking about, this Kamala Harris, it's absolutely verifiable truth. She sat on the Breakfast Club and lied to the brother in his face, talking about no one that got locked up for truancy. That's a bold-faced, damnable, organic, spoken lie from the mouth of evil. That heifer is lied. She lying. There's a video, documentary style type video, that a sister did. She was interviewed. Why? Because Kamala Harris locked her up in California when Kamala Harris wrote that law and instituted that law to lock parents up because of children truancy. She said anytime a child reaches 10% absentee out of school, she gonna lock the parent up. And she locked several parents up, all black women, no white people. And you know daggone well, white people miss school just like black people. But Kamala Harris locked up several black sisters, right? One in particular, it really got to me. This really bothered me. Why? There's one sister that Kamala Harris locked up because her child met so much truancy. The baby girl has sickle cell anemia. That's what's happening. The baby girl, they interviewed her, and she explained about the pain she having and this and that from the hospital bed. The child was sitting in the hospital bed talking about how bad it hurt. You know, and then they showed the video of the child. She was laying there, the baby girl, so sad. She was just crying and whimpering because she was in pain in the hospital. And that touched me. I'm getting a little emotional now talking about it because this is a baby girl. And the mother, single, you know, doing the best she can by herself, trying to work the job, stay in the little apartment they had, deal with the daughter in the hospital, and then the few days she felt okay, she would go to school. And it showed the video of the girl saying, speaking into the camera, she was in the car. She said, well, this is the third day. I was in class today. I feel good. I'm happy that I made 3 days this week in school. The child was happy because she made 3 days. They go to school how many days? 5 days. So she missed 2 days. And what does Kamala Harris do? Lock the mama up. And then the mother get locked up. And what happened? The mother loses a job, loses the apartment. Now she in the street. The girl is in the hospital. And Kamala Harris done locked her sister up and harassed her for 2 years. Did a perp walk. They, you know, done sent the official, the law enforcement into the house, put in handcuffs, and walked outside. And when she go outside, you got the news media, the cameras already out there. Because Kamala Harris done used this black woman for political purpose. And Kamala Harris cared nothing about the child being with sickle cell anemia. She cared nothing about the child being in the hospital. She cared nothing about the mother struggling, trying to do everything between the hospital, the job, and she lost the job. She locked the sister up. The sister sat right there and explained everything in detail. And Kamala Harris goes on the Breakfast Club, and when Charlamagne asked her, did anybody get locked up for truancy? Kamala Harris said, no, we prosecuted some people. No one got locked up. That's a damnable lie. Y'all got to hear this, man. This woman lies so much, it's mind-boggling. You know, I can't even ask Kamala Harris what time it is. If I ain't got to watch, I still won't know. Because she liable to lie. That's Kamala. What time is it? 2 o'clock. Somebody check that. No, bro. It's 2:15. What? Oh, God. It's she running for president of the United States of America. You know what? Now, this is what I'm going to say. is really sad. The state of the American energy right now is this heifer actually could wind up in the White House. That type of person. Yeah. Cause America, man, and Israel, they going through something. They really, oof, they're in bad shape. America and Israel, oof. Bad shape. Spiritually, morally, in bad shape. And you look at the leadership of those countries, bad shape. And remember now, the head is connected to your body, right? And your head is making the decision of what goes in your mouth, your nose, your ears, your eyes, what's going in your skin. Your mind is making them decisions. Your head is making those decisions to eat whatever, say whatever, do whatever, right? So the leadership in the country, the government, is the head of those people in that country, right? Okay. So you have a government that functions like the American government, the Israeli government, in a position that they are above everybody else. Like they're above the law. You know, they do whatever they want to do. No holds barred. This is how they moving now. You know, lie, cheat, steal, whatever. And as you notice, you don't see the government doing anything fundamentally positive to improve the lives of the people. The government always, it's like every time they make a move, it's at the detriment of the nation, the people, the inhabitants of their country. You're talking about raising taxes. That's gonna take money out. You're saying everything they do is just not good for the people. And we see that time and time again. So what's the use of the government? You know what I'm saying? I've always said that the best leaders are the ones that come from the pack. You run with us, you go up there and lead. And see, that person would be an excellent leader of the people because he was one of the people. And that means he know how the people think. You understand? He know what makes him tick. And so when you have a situation like that where you have a leader that come out the pack from the group, they turn out to be really better leaders because they understand the people because they once were one of the people. You follow me? So I noticed these leaders, majority of them, they always papered up. And I'm not going to go as far as to say they wealthy because wealthy started, what, 100 million, 200 million, 300 million? It's different amounts that they claim wealthy. Like if you got $100 million, you wealthy. Or you got 50, you see what I'm saying? So I'm just going to say wealthy, right? Now, you don't generally get that type of wealth 1, 2, 3, 4 years. You're along the pathway of arriving at that type of wealth for a while, like years, right? So that means that when you get, let's say, I'm making an example, okay? When you get like $10 million, no matter where you at, what country you're at, $10 million is going to put you in another whole realm of life on this planet, no matter where you at. You got $10 million. Now, from that $10 million, as the years go by, your money increase 15 million, 20 million, 30, 100 million, 200 million. Then you get like 780 million after 20 years. What am I saying? From the time you got that 10 million, 20 years later, you've been rich, where you haven't had to worry about things that, like you see us out here, see these men sitting over there, we getting ready to go out here, go to this work, get this little chump change. You've been with $10 million. Ain't no $10 million people out here. You know what I'm saying? Even the project manager, he got a job. He there. He already there. Okay? But if I had $10 million, I wouldn't be sitting here and talking. My life would be different. Better. Now, what's my point? The central idea of my point, here's the thought. After you achieve that much financial, strength, and it stays with you for years, your mind absolutely does change in a sense, because now you're accessing different people that's with different thoughts. You're going to different places that are only for the rich, because they the only one that can afford to go there. And so that happened 1 year, 2 years, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you had all these high-level places. You never associate with these guys sitting out here. And then after so long, you begin to forget. If you ever had, when you came from not having no money, you got to the $10 million mark, you still remember, because you weren't that far removed from being broke. You got the 10 million, right? Now you're looking at 27 years later, you just been a multi-millionaire and living on top of this world. You living in this world, but you're not living on the world. You living on the world, but you're not living in the world. You understand what I'm saying? You here, but you ain't here. In other words, like, look at this. Let me show you this. You see that house up there? That's just raggedy. Let me zoom it in a little bit. You see that? That's just a dump. Look at that. That's just a dump. And all this around here is dumps. Right? Now, you got $10 million. You're not living up there. You got $10 million. You way out somewhere, like up where this nice wealthy area is Herzliya here in Israel. It's called Herzliya Batuach. That's where you got the multi-million-dollar home. Almost everybody got swimming pools in the backyard. That's where you at. And up in that area, they got their stores, they shops, their people, and the same type people congregate, live up there, and they go around each other to the same little shops. When you got that kind of money, you had your little coffee shop, your sandwich shop, your grocery store, your places of activity, entertainment, and it's all you. And so after a while, you get this type mindset where you forget about these guys like this here. You don't even see this kind of dump houses, because the only place you go is where you go. And it's always around beautiful, lavish, luxurious places, right? So after a while, man, you get to where none of this is, you don't know this. Time go on. You don't know how these men and women think out here at this level. And then you come up, say, you know what, I want to be the president. And you got the money, and you know people that high level that could help you do it, and you run for president, and when you start talking, you sound like a damnable fool to these people. Why? Because you ain't been around them people. You've only been around the people that you've been around and talking the way you all talk to each other, being around each other. And then you come out and you try to talk to these people, and you sound like you done stepped off from another planet. And that's exactly the way political leaders are today. They do not have a clue of what's going on in lives of people that wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 days a week, and drive an hour to get to work and work 10, 11, 12 hours. And then they down to the last hour, and the manager come and say, I need you to do another 2 hours because we got to do dust, and dust. And then you stay there another 2 hours, and you remember When you get down and you supposed to leave at 5 o'clock, and it's 4 o'clock, and the manager come and tell you he needs you to stay another 2 hours after 5. So now you got to stay to 7. And you have a leader that has absolutely not a clue about none of that. The way they talk, they gonna sound just like they from another daggone world. Like, who is they? What? And then they do stupid stuff that only benefit them. You hear the guy over in London, his wife worth these hundreds of millions and he hundreds of millions. I'm like, why would y'all vote people in office like that? You don't understand. They don't know you. They can't relate to you. They don't recognize you. They don't see you. And why would you vote somebody like that in office? You know, look at them dudes over there. I'll tell you something. I could pick any one of them guys to be the prime minister of this country. I could pick any one of them guys to be the president of America. You know why? Because those government have so many other people that really know what they're doing. As the president or the prime minister, all you got to do is sit down and talk with them. And you all come together and look at, okay, this is a situation we're dealing with. What do y'all think? You counsel with your advisors. You counsel with your cabinet. See, in the multitude of counsel is what? Great wisdom. And so you, the president, all right, prime minister, you have zero experience of being the president and prime minister, but you got a lot of experience in being intelligent. And intelligence tells you to what? Let's talk to the people that's been here and get some ideas on what we need to do. And then when you come out and start opening your mouth, you're talking like you got some sense. Or if you really want to get jiggy with it, you let one of them say whatever it is you want to say. And they know how to say it in a manner that the people can understand it. And you sitting over there letting them talk. They happy, you know what I'm saying, all good, you know, it sound good. And you stand up and cheer and clap with the people, and people looking at you say, man, that's a great leader. Wow. No, they put clowns in office that's rich. She's sitting there with a $62,000 necklace on, giving people a $750 loan and denying it because it was a loan from the jump. And she lying, talking about we're going to give people $750 assistance and didn't do a damn thing. Oh, man. And there's people that's still talking about they're going to vote for her because she's black. You know, this is the last thing I'm going to say. I was talking with a friend of mine, and she was very frustrated because she said her people are voting for, are voting for Kamala, even after all the information has come out about her. You know, people still voting for her because she's black. And so my friend was just frustrated. Like, I can't even understand how people would just still vote. Who are, you know, I said, ho, you know what? Listen. The universe has chosen us. She said, what do you mean? Chosen us to wear these glasses of truth and vision. When we put the glasses on, we can see truth. We can see beyond many things that when we didn't have the glasses, we couldn't see. But the universe, in choosing us, have given us these glasses to wear. And the glasses allow us to see through all lies and deception. Now we can see truth. Those people have not been chosen by the universe, and they just can't see it. Will they be chosen? I have no idea. It ain't on me. But don't frustrate yourself with people that can't see truth. They haven't been chosen to be able to see it. Last point, when you get these glasses, you cannot take them off. I said it because I love you from the basement of my heart to the attic of my mouth. I love you 24/7. That means I love you all the time. Shalom.